Hi, this is Kevin Trainer, and welcome to my tutorial on how to complete and submit a coding assignment um, for the Python course. And I'm doing two versions of this, one for Mac OS, which I've already done, and this one for Windows 10, because a few of the details are different, and I want to make sure this early part of the course you get all the benefit that you can. So let's open up Pycharm, which is our Python IDE, and I'm running a virtual machine for Windows, and it makes it run a little slower than usual, but you can see here's our splash screen. So what do we want to do? Well, we want to create a new project. So each assignment that you have is going to be a new project. So create a new project, pure Python. So where is this? Well, I want to create in documents under my user ID. I want to create a directory called, let's take the underscores off of it. I'm just calling it my Python course projects. Okay. And I don't have it in that directory now within documents. You won't find that there. But if I just code it in here, it will create it. Okay, and I don't want to call this untitled. What do I want to call it? Well, to know the exact name for this assignment, although they all have the same pattern, you can get the details from your instructions for the assignment. So I'm just kind of paging through the instructions, and they say the name of the project should be last name underscore first name underscore exercises underscore Zell underscore 3E underscore chapter underscore 01. So let's do that. So last name for me, Trainer. And I don't know why it's not typing. Trainer. And I typically put these in all lowercase. I got a 0 rather than an O there. That's not good. Trainer underscore Kevin underscore exercises underscore Zell underscore 3E, the edition that we're working on, underscore chapter underscore and 01 for the chapter, so they'll sort in the right order. Okay, and I'm just going to, and then, so that's the name I'm going to want. That's the directory I'm going to want to put it in. What about this Python interpreter? Well, you know, when we installed all of our tools a little while ago, we learned how to use Anaconda to set up a virtual environment that had everything we wanted in it, including the right Python interpreter. And we created a virtual environment called plain old Python development. And I want to find my way there. Okay? Now it's probably pretty easy to do here because it's already pointing to it. Plain old Python development. So we say that we want to use an existing interpreter. It's pointing at that. If I take the drop down, I'm pointing at two things. Because of the work that we did in the previous tutorials, we've got two places to point to: plain old Python development, and for those of you who stayed around for the Django 2 development, you've got that too. So we want the plain old Python development. That's all we need to configure it, and we're going to click create. So we created that, and here is our project. Now I just want to go out into the File Explorer and I want to go to Documents. And you can see we have created in Documents, which is, of course, underneath my user ID. It appears here under Documents because I'm the user who's logged in. I have my Python course projects, and if I open that, you can see that I've got a directory called Trainer Kevin Exercises Zell 3E Chapter 01. And it turns out that these directories are what hold our projects. Okay, so a proper project is a properly named directory. Doesn't have anything in it yet. It should have just a metadata directory. And that's what it does. This .idea is the metadata directory for a Pycharm project. But we don't have any program files yet. Okay, so let's go back up there. We've got all that kind of stuff. That looks good. And we'll shrink that. We'll be back to that. All right. And now let's create the first of our programs. And I look at the instructions and I see of the two exercises we're doing, the first one, we're supposed to create a program called, create a module file called solong.py. So let's create that. So I go up to the name of the project, I right click, and I say I want a new Python file. And I type in solong, and I don't have to type in the .py because I've got this kind of kind that's kind of it's setting that. Now I'm going to click OK. And here you can see the tab I'm on, solong.py. Well, I'm not going to put the code in. Place code for solong.py in this file. And now we want to toggle this into a comment. So we're on Windows, so the magic key is Control and then /. And I always like a blank line at the bottom. Okay, and so that's it. We've got solong.py. We can close that. Now let's go over to the project itself and let's click to the left of it on that little pointer icon. And you can see the contents include solong.py. That's good. Very good. All right. So let's create the other one. Now the other one, according to my instructions here, is called math101.py. So I'm going to want to get up over the project, right click, new Python file. And we're going to call it math101. And we're going to come down and click on OK. And now we've got math101.py up here in the editor, and we can say code for math101.py goes in this file. Okay, and again we want to toggle that into a comment. And I always want to end with a blank line because it's just kind of personal preference. Okay, so now let's close that. All right, that looks good. And if we go over here to the navigator panel, we can see we've got both of those. So we really have a properly named project, and we've got two programs in it. They're properly named. This is what we want to hand in. How do we hand it in? Okay, well, we've done all our work for this part with Pycharm. So we can close Pycharm. And let's bring up Windows Explorer again. And again, let's explore this. We've got, it's at the very top, it's called My Python Course Projects. So that's it. We only have one. This is the one for the Chapter 1 coding assignment. And then if we open up that, that's our project, right? It's got the proper name. If we open it up, we can see that we have a metadata directory, and then we've got two files, math101.py and solong.py. They're showing up on alphabetical order. Okay, so this is great. Now, how do we hand in a project? Well, here's what we do. We zip up the directory that holds that project, and we submit the zip file. Now, how do we do that on Windows? Well, we do it like this. Highlight the name of the directory, right-click, go down to Send To, pick Compressed Zipped Folder, okay? And you'll see two things. One is it creates another line in the directory, so we know we have another entity in the directory, and it wants to know what name we want for the zip file. It doesn't want to know what extension we want at this point. It's going to make the extension zip. So we want it to be the same as the name of the directory, so we just press return or enter. Okay, so now this is the zip file we're going to submit. So when you look at, when you come to the directory that's going to hold all of your projects, and if you have a project for each of your coding assignments, and if you zipped it up, then you're probably going to have a regular directory and then a zip file. We don't do much else with the zip file, but if somebody says, oh, I didn't see that, could you hand that in again? Well, probably good to hang on to the zip file. And so it's this zip file that you submit to the assignment submission activity, this one file. And what's inside of it? Well, your project, and what's inside your project is identifies you and the assignment, and then inside of that are all the programs. The other thing that you've done is that when you configured this properly named project, you picked a virtual environment that we created back when we installed Anaconda, called plain old Python development. And that means that your virtual environment that you've used to run and test your program is going to be the same one. It's going to have been created the same way as the virtual environment that we use to load and test your programs. Okay? So it's important that you work with the same thing that we do. Okay, so that was part of the process as well. So that's it. Again, what do you submit? You submit this zip file. And that's it. I'm going to leave you until next time. Bye-bye.